The FBI has added a senior leader of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua to its 10 most wanted.
He's just been added to the FBI's top 10 most wanted list, and he's the first alleged member of Tren de Aragua.
A Texas town woke up to the roar of battering rams. At 5 a.m., federal agents simultaneously breached the doors of dozens of homes, and what they found inside shook the entire city. 30 arrests. Police officers, judges, prosecutors, city council members, and even the sheriff. All of them suspected of working for a Venezuelan drug cartel that had turned the town into a deadly transit artery. It all began on the outskirts of Laredo, Texas, along Interstate 35, one of the most crucial supply corridors between Mexico and the United States. Patrol officers stopped what looked like an ordinary truck, but the driver's behavior made them so uneasy that they decided to check the call tracking logs. That's when it became clear. Someone inside the local police department had tipped him off about a checkpoint on the highway. It was the first loose thread that unraveled an entire web of corruption. Further investigation revealed that the town had long been used as a quiet transit window, the perfect place for the cartel to hide behind the daily flow of commercial trucks. When federal agents began surveillance, the true scale proved shocking. Dozens of buildings, from the courthouse to the sheriff's office, were compromised by corruption. The network stretched across 3 counties and included police, local officials, and even the judicial system. According to investigators, this may be the biggest internal law enforcement failure in South Texas in the past decade. And it all started with one nervous traffic stop on the highway. After that accidental truck stop, the FBI moved quietly, carefully, almost invisibly. Agents understood one thing immediately. If the leak was coming from inside the city, involving local police or prosecutors would kill the investigation before it even started. That's why a sealed interagency task force worked the case for 3 years. FBI analysts, DEA field operators, and HSI financial investigators specializing in tracking narcotics flows, crypto payments, and cross-border smuggling. The investigation began with an anonymous email sent to the regional FBI office. It listed the names of 2 police officers who were regularly informing outside individuals about raids and highway surveillance cameras. At first glance, it looked trivial, a random tip with unclear motives. But phone messages analysis showed something alarming. The officers mentioned in the email were contacting Venezuelan phone numbers with unusual frequency, along with several Mexican carriers already known to U.S. investigators. That was the first piece of the puzzle. Over the next several months, agents installed wiretaps, tracked smartphone movements, conducted controlled buys, and monitored strange import shipments moving through local warehouses. Some shipments were declared as humanitarian goods, yet their contents and transit routes clearly resembled camouflage for drug trafficking. The biggest breakthrough came when investigators gained access to a cryptocurrency wallet linked to a local law firm. The payments appeared legitimate: consulting, logistics services, vehicle rentals. But the amounts and timing were wrong. Analysts quickly discovered that the transfers were routed through a chain of shell companies in Panama, Colombia, and Curaçao, then washed through crypto mixers. From there, the money flowed into accounts belonging to relatives of city council members, police officers, and even judges. At that moment, it became clear. This wasn't a small group of corrupt individuals. It was a fully developed influence network the Venezuelan cartel had been building for years. The web included local police officers who leaked patrol schedules and camera locations, courthouse staff who accidentally misplaced files or delayed hearings, prosecutors who dropped charges citing insufficient evidence, the sheriff's office, which guaranteed safe passage along 2 key entry-exit routes, city council members who pushed permits for warehouses and logistics centers that were, in reality, cartel transfer hubs. Gradually, the full picture came into focus. Texas had become an interstate corridor funneling narcotics toward Oklahoma, Arkansas, and deeper into the Midwest. The cartel used local officials as a guaranteed safety lane, paying them in cryptocurrency, cash, and fake consulting contracts. Surveillance continued for over 36 months, but the final trigger came from a wiretap. A judge confirming to a cartel intermediary the exact time when the city would be blind. A 2-hour window when patrol coverage dropped due to a system update. For federal agents, that was the point of no return. Within weeks, the operational center in San Antonio drafted a plan for simultaneous arrests. Every office, every hallway, every name mentioned even once in the scheme was mapped. From the courthouse to the vehicle yard, the corruption network had infected nearly the entire structure of city authority. And when at 5 in the morning, dozens of teams stormed homes and offices, it wasn't a random sweep. It was the culmination of one of the most powerful FBI investigations in modern Texas history. The town where the operation took place didn't look significant on the criminal map, but its location made it an ideal logistics hub. Less than 20 minutes from an interstate highway, used daily by hundreds of trucks, and only an hour from the Mexican border. That combination turned the small town into a shadow transit point, through which up to 10 tons of cocaine, fentanyl pills, and methamphetamine moved every month. According to investigators, this generated more than $300 million monthly for the cartel. Enough money to buy the silence of any official already inclined toward corruption. Without this local cover, the entire scheme would have collapsed. The cartel operated with mathematical precision. Part of the shipments arrived from Venezuela by sea to Mexico. Others were flown in through illegal airstrips. The drugs were then mixed in clandestine labs across the border and transported in smaller batches through various states. In Texas, the shipments were cleared by corrupt officers who tipped off patrol locations, gave the green light for movement, and even stopped unrelated vehicles to create a time window. From there, the cargo was redistributed in 5 primary directions: toward Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and Colorado. But narcotics were only part of the business. The cartel simultaneously profited from weapons smuggling. Shipments of semi-automatic firearms moved through the town before being sent back into Mexico. Harboring undocumented migrants, temporarily held in rented warehouses. Human trafficking, the darkest element. Women were moved onward to major U.S. cities. Cryptocurrency-based financial operations. Technological smuggling. Electronics, microchips, and industrial sensors routed through shell companies into South America and then beyond. The FBI determined that the entire system was built around divide and rule. Venezuelan suppliers shipped concentrated raw materials. Mexican labs mixed and packaged the product. The Texas hub ensured silent, protected transit. American distributors in other states handled retail distribution. Everyone made money, but the largest share went to those who controlled the corridor of safety, meaning corrupt officials who guaranteed invisibility. This structure made the operation extraordinarily dangerous. First, the volume of fentanyl meant the potential for tens of millions of lethal doses. Second, the cartel had access to weapons and could redeploy personnel quickly. Third, the technological smuggling suggested that the criminal network wasn't just working for profit, it was serving external actors as well. The turning point came when the FBI fully reconstructed the scheme and confirmed that information leaks were coming from 14 different sources inside the city. Bringing in local police was impossible. A single warning could have destroyed a multi-year investigation. That's why federal agents worked in complete silence. A week before the raid, more than 100 FBI, DEA, and HSI personnel checked into a hotel outside the region, moving incognito, without marked vehicles or traceable phones. The operation was planned down to the minute. 30 targets, from homes to municipal offices, had to be hit simultaneously. At 5 a.m., unmarked convoys rolled out. By 5:30, the final target was secured. None of the suspects had time to destroy evidence, escape, or alert anyone. Thus ended one of the largest anti-corruption and anti-narcotics operations in modern Texas history. And, as agents note, it was only the tip of the iceberg. After the simultaneous arrests, federal agents entered the homes of officials and law enforcement employees who had spent years guaranteeing the cartel's untouchability. What they found stunned even veteran investigators. In the home of one judge, the same judge who had been losing the cases of key traffickers, agents discovered more than $2 million in cash, neatly bundled and organized across several safes. FBI digital reports show that he was receiving regular payments for favorable court rulings, each transfer routed through a cryptocurrency wallet tied to a shell company in Panama. At the sheriff's residence, agents uncovered documents showing monthly transactions of $50,000 wired to an offshore account in Belize. His garage contained 5 unregistered AR-15 rifles, 2 pump-action shotguns, and boxes of ammunition, weapons that were meant to be forwarded along the cartel's route. In total, more than 600 kilograms of narcotics were seized during the searches, from cocaine to fentanyl pills. According to experts, that amount could have produced over 20 million lethal doses. Agents also recovered forged IDs, passports, and driver's licenses used to transport couriers and conceal trafficked individuals. What drew investigators' special attention were servers with encrypted chats, radios using private frequencies, and several portable crypto devices for cold storage funds. At one of the warehouses, agents found 7 undocumented migrants who were awaiting transport, destined to be used as labor for the cartel's labs and logistics centers. Together with the arrests, these findings formed a complete picture. The network wasn't just operating inside the city, it was controlling the city from within. Once the evidence was processed, one thing became clear. The case could not be dragged out. Nearly all 30 defendants agreed to plea deals, admitting guilt in exchange for a reduction of some charges. The judge, who had been managing favorable rulings for years, received a 40-year sentence. The sheriff was sentenced to 32 years, and the primary police informant to 23. In total, the courts handed down more than 600 years of prison time, one of the largest corruption and narco-trafficking sentencing totals in the history of South Texas. The consequences for the region were felt within a month. The town's police department was completely dissolved, and its responsibilities were temporarily transferred to the Texas State Police. According to DEA estimates, drug traffic volume through this corridor dropped by 80%, and the city is now under federal oversight as part of a program to rebuild the local justice system and recruit new personnel. Agents explained that this scheme was uniquely dangerous because the cartel controlled not just the road, but the institutions meant to protect it. "This wasn't just corruption," said one senior FBI official. "We cut the spine of a network that hid behind government structures." That was precisely why the scheme lasted so long. The criminals were skilled at creating an illusion of normalcy, using the system itself as a shield. Exposing it became possible through financial analysis of crypto transactions, covert recordings, and complete isolation of the investigation from local authorities. Compared to previous anti-narcotics operations in the region, this one became a turning point, as the DEA noted. Not just a strike against a cartel, but the full dismantling of its political infrastructure.